Thank you, Chuck. That was inspiring, and I can assure you it's a hard act to follow here. Thank you also for your service before World War II, during World War II, and after World War II. A real patriot, a real hero. Thank you. I was on active duty in Honolulu, Hawaii on September 11th, 2001. I received a call about 3:45 in the morning at home indicating that an apparent terrorist attack had occurred at the World Trade Center in New York City. I got dressed quickly and drove the 15 minutes that it took to get to the Pacific Command headquarters. We were all sickened by the sight of both towers of the World Trade Center burning and later collapsing. At Pacific Command, our staff and operations center leapt into action, raising the security posture at all the military bases and on all the ships throughout the Pacific to the highest levels, and working with the Federal Aviation Administration to get aircraft that were headed for Hawaii diverted to other airports, and calling out Air National Guard fighter aircraft to escort arriving flights that could not be diverted. There were some similarities between the Pearl Harbor attack that Chuck described and the 9/11 attack. In both cases, our intelligence and security forces were surprised, and the American public was stunned. One significant difference between these attacks: at Pearl Harbor, another nation attacked our military installation. On 9/11, an organization of terrorists, not operating under the flag of any nation, launched an attack against thousands of unsuspecting men and women. Our response to both of these attacks was to declare war. The Pearl Harbor attack was the trigger that brought the United States into World War II, resulting in the destruction of the Axis powers in Europe and the Imperial Japanese forces in the Pacific. Our response to the 9/11 attack was to initiate the war on terrorism, beginning with the effort to eliminate al-Qaeda's safe haven in Afghanistan and the Taliban government that supported them there. Other elements of response to the 9/11 attack include the creation of the Department of Homeland Security, which focused government oversight and resources on defending our homeland, and the passage by Congress of the Patriot Act, which reduced government restrictions on our efforts to pursue terrorism on our soil. We did have reason in both cases to suspect that we might be attacked. We had indications, clues that were missed that could have warned of an attack. In the case of the Japanese attack, our relationship with the government of Japan was at a low point. The U.S. had placed an oil embargo on Japan. We had intercepted messages that, if properly analyzed, should have raised alert levels. In the 9/11 attack, there had been previous attempts to destroy the World Trade Center. The FBI had reports of unusual flight training by Middle Eastern men. During the month before the 9/11 attack, terrorism suspect Zacarias Moussaoui was arrested because of his suspicious behavior at a Minnesota flight school. Two of the hijackers were on a government watch list, but the Federal Aviation Administration had not been informed. So there were clues in both cases that planning might be underway for an attack. But I think that the real lesson is that while we may have clues foretelling attacks against the United States, we should not need clues to tell us that we have mortal enemies who will stop at nothing to bring death and destruction to our doorstep, indeed to our homeland. We should not need clues to provide our incentive to maintain a high state of vigilance. We cannot wait for clues to spur our investment in the manpower and technology needed to ensure that our intelligence and security forces have the resources they need. Surprise attacks are far less likely to succeed if vigilance is practiced continually. To quote the motto of the Pearl Harbor Survivors Association, remember Pearl Harbor, keep America alert, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Just as December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor Day, defined a generation of Americans, September 11th, 2001 has indelibly shaped who we are, how we live our daily lives, and what we believe in. What was most shocking to us that morning was not the brutal method used to attack us or the scope and magnitude of the attacks, but that it was our way of life that was attacked, our embrace of freedom and democracy, our respect for the rights of all to express differing opinions, to worship differently or look different than we do. The United States is the envy of the rest of the world, not for the things that we have, but for the beliefs that we hold and for our freedom. Thank you for being with us today to honor the Pearl Harbor survivors, to honor those who lost their lives in the attacks on December 7th, 1941 and September 11th, 2001, and to honor all those who accepted the risks associated with saving the lives of so many on those days. Thank you.
Thank you.